on the Aggie Sports Network. From Learfield, Aggie basketball has been brought to you by Sports Academy and Racket Club. Your club, your results, your life. Zions Bank. For 150 years of helping you succeed, Zions Bank is for you. Ford. Build Ford proud. Also by Stokes. Stokes Trucking. Doing the right thing since 1979. Welcome to Aggie Postgame. Here's Scott Gerard.
A leisurely stroll in the park for Utah State, winning this one 101-48 over South Dakota Mines. The Hard Rockers sent packing. Utah State gets it done. Final in this one, 101-48. Scott Gerard alongside Spencer Nelson. Time to kick off your post-game show, brought to you by Farm Bureau agent Brandon Jensen. Contact Brandon today, 435-752-4800. It's your future. Let's protect it. Well, we saw a little bit of drama, at least in the first half, in that game against Montana State Billings. This thing was over a tip.
Yeah, give the Aggies credit. Give all these guys credit for coming out with energy, playing with intensity, and executing. Really impressive showing. And obviously the opponent is not a high-level opponent, but they didn't play to their opponent's level at all tonight. It was very clear that they were the superior team on the offensive end, on the defensive end, and it was clear from, like you said, clear from the 1 minute into the game mark that they were going to control this game.
So with Utah State winning this game and winning it easily, 101-48, it's going to be a lot more difficult coming up on Saturday against Bradley. That's a big boy basketball team there.
Yeah, a very different game, but I'll say this. To come back from quick game Friday night to Monday night turnaround, including a Sunday in there, you're going to have some good film. You want your team going into a game against Bradley on the road with confidence, and I think all of them are going to be very confident. But going on the road is a different environment. Obviously, Bradley's going to be a very different team than the two teams they played. But going into it, I mean, I think all Aggie fans should be thinking, this team has some pieces. This team's going to play hard and compete, and we're going to win some basketball games.
Well, a couple players that we need to point out here, and we'll go through the stat line. 4 players in double figures tonight. Great Osibor with 14 points. Darius Brown with 10. Mason Falsleb was 17, and he only had to play 24 minutes. That's the other thing, too. These guys got some good action, but, didn't have to play a lot. But Josh Aduje with 19 points in 23 minutes, a perfect 8 for 8 from the field, 3 for 3 from the three-point line, and he really put on a show tonight for this home crowd.
Yeah, as I said in the game, I really like his temperament, and that may sound weird, but he's just very even keel. He seems like he's going to be really consistent for this team. Not too high, not too low. He was in double figures in their opening game on Friday night, and it's a little quiet what he does, because it's not like it's coming in stretches where he's bam, bam, bam. Mason seems to be someone, hits a bucket, gets aggressive, going to go back to the bucket, that type of thing. But Josh, I think if you looked at that scoring, it was spread pretty evenly throughout the game, and the Aggies are going to need that consistent kind of veteran leadership. They know they're going to get it from Darius, but I think Josh is going to be another source of that.
Well, and I think you're spot on that too. You always need, what's the old adage? You need two big guns, and then you need a third in any given game. And I think Great Osibor is probably going to be a consistent big gun. Obviously, Mason Falsleb, Darius Brown, but Aduje certainly seems like a guy who's going to fill that need on a night in and night out basis, and that's going to be huge for this team. Overall, Utah State, from a statistics standpoint, was just lights out in this game. Shooting overall from the field 63%, 53% from 3, 9 of 17. And then there's the number you wanted to see. You wanted to see a double-digit rebounding lead. How about a 26 rebound advantage, 47-21?
Yeah, I'll be interested in asking Coach Sprinkle how much of an emphasis that was after getting out-rebounded by Montana State Billings. I would imagine that was talked about immediately after the game, and then going into this game, hey, let's see you guys man up and beat these guys on the boards, and they absolutely slaughtered him on the boards. Now, part of it was Great Osibor padding his stats a few times, but no, they did a great job on the boards.
Valley Office Systems, a proud partner of Utah State Athletics for 10 years. Valley Office Systems, go there, valleyofficesystems.com for all your copy, print, scan, and furniture needs. All right, joining us now, he is the head coach of the Utah State Aggies, as Danny Sprinkle, enjoying his first official win as the head coach of the Aggies.
Yeah.
Congratulations.
Thank you. Appreciate it. No, it's always, anytime you get a win, it doesn't matter. They're always hard to get, so appreciate it.
You never take them for granted.
No.
Hey, there's a lot of great stats to look at. One thing that really jumps out at me, 26 assists on 39 made buckets. You guys really shared the ball well tonight.
We did. We talked about that before. You know, sometimes these games it's hard because it's, you know, sometimes you can get guys that are selfish at times, and I thought we did a great job sharing the basketball, and that's what we're going to have to continue to do that.
Talk about the boards. Obviously, Friday night after the game, we talked. You guys got out-rebounded by Billings. How much of an emphasis was it after that game and coming into this game? Because that wasn't even close tonight.
Yeah, it was huge. You know, I mean, we showed clips of every missed box out we had and every rebound they got.
I love it.
You know, and but we have to do that with this team with so many new guys, and because it's building for games Saturday. You know, like Saturday. You know, when we play Bradley, we're going to have to rebound and we're going to have to be physical on a whole nother level that a lot of this group hasn't seen. And so we've been just trying to prepare them for that.
There's a lot of individual performances. Obviously, Mason brought the energy again, but Josh Aduje perfect from the field tonight, and he was just outstanding.
He was, and he played within himself. You know, I didn't think he took a bad shot all night. And when he does that, he's athletic, and he's a good shooter. You know, when he can get the ball to the mid-range and do his little pull-up, you know, that's one of his best shots. And, you know, when he gets his feet set from three, he's a great shooter too.
It looks like, I don't know Josh at all. Hopefully I'll get to know him a little bit. I really like his temperament out there. He seems really even keel, not too high, not too low, and consistent. I said before the game, I think he has the possibility of being just kind of that consistent veteran guy. Darius is obviously, we all know Darius is going to be, but he can be another one of those guys on the floor to just calm things down and, like you said, played within himself. Seems like that's the kind of player he is.
No question. You hit it on the head. That he's just like that off the court too. You know, sometimes you want a little bit more on the court. I want a little more juice from him, because he's capable of sparking a team when just with his athleticism, and he's got a flair to his game. And I know the crowd will love it like they did tonight. But he's such a good kid. He's unbelievable. But he's exactly like that off the court, and he's never too high, never too low, which is a good thing, especially in the heat of the moment.
Yeah.
So you're early. I mean, obviously, dealt with the ankle injury. He's been out for a little bit, and you get him back in the lineup after only a couple days of practice. And boy, you know, Aggie fans watching this guy up close in person, you see the power that he can play with, but also a great handle and a great touch around the rim too.
Yeah, he's just different for how big he is. Like if you watch him in warm-ups, you don't think he can move and handle the ball like he does. Now today he was a little excited. I mean, it seemed like he bobbled the ball almost every time he caught the ball. He was just trying to go a little bit too fast. But, you know, I mean, 14, 9, and 4 in his first game. You know, really his first game in 6 months. Just coming off, he really hasn't practiced, you know, in the last 10 days.
He'd be more than happy to play the point for you if you.
Trust me, I hear it every day from him. Yep. No, he thinks he's a point guard, and he is capable of doing it sometimes. But I'm not going to give it to him full time. God forbid we'd have to have Blake Anderson give everybody helmets in the crowd.
Yeah, that's exactly right. But he does talk to his back to the basket game, because there aren't a lot of guys that can play back to the basket in this day and age, but he's got a little bit of that in him, doesn't he?
He's got a lot of it, and that's where he's been so effective, you know, his first 2 years. You know, I mean, I really thought he was the best, you know, post player, if not player, coming back in the Big Sky this year if he went back there. But he's quick, and what people don't realize, he has like a 7'3", 7'4" wingspan.
Yeah.
And so when he turns and he just sticks that arm out there, he creates so much space, and he's a wide body, you know, and he uses it, you know, and so when he hits you, you go off balance, and then he just sticks that arm out, and I mean, he can get that up anytime.
I've been shaking his hand, but just looking at it, looks like he's got baseball mitts for hands.
It's like a tennis ball. But and the thing about it that I love is because so few people play back to the basket, so few guys have experience defending back to the basket.
Exactly.
So it's really hard, and you can see the double. It feels like because he has the feel that he can pass out of the double, because I would imagine he'll get doubled a lot.
Yeah.
Just because he does have the skill down there.
He does. He can sometimes get a little wild with his passing. You know, when he slows down, he's a tremendous passer. He hit a couple guys on cuts today. He can hit the backside. And, he's got a great feel for the game, but a lot of it is just slowing down and getting his base under him, because sometimes he stands straight up. That's when he gets in trouble.
Is it a transition for a guy, and if it's not, I mean, correct me if I'm wrong here, but obviously he was a sixth man of the year last year in the Big Sky, and you had a great big that started for you at Montana State last year. Is it a tough transition for guys to come off the bench and then be a starter and what you're asking him to be this year?
I don't think so. Because there was a couple games that he started. And like you said, he was one of the best players in the Big Sky last year, even though he came off the bench. But I don't think, he's been wanting this moment.
I think it's harder, from my perspective, it's harder to do the other thing, to go from a starter and then go be a bench guy.
No doubt.
Those bench guys, they're hungry as ever to get in that game, and you say you're starting, then they'll get going. It was fun to see him get going from the beginning. One question coming into this game, you had the film from Friday. We talked about rebounding. We talked about the assists. What were you really wanting to see from your team, and did you see it?
Yeah, I wanted to go more, and I didn't know if they were going to press us or not, but I wanted to be able to go from our transition game and flow right into kind of our motion. I felt like we were way too stagnant on Friday, where we'd cross half court and we'd dribble it and pass it and get it back to Darius, and then all of a sudden the clock was at the end. Where I thought tonight we did a better job of, when we didn't get a layup in transition, we were moving to basketball, and we were playing with a little more pace tonight.
Nice.
Overall, though, a tremendous performance. 62% from the field, 52%. Free throws, a little bit of work in progress.
Yeah, it's they make them in practice, but we got to start making them in games. But because it's going to come down to when you win close games, you have to make free throws, and especially at home.
Yeah, no doubt. Coach, congratulations. First win.
Thank you, guys.
As a Aggie head coach. First of, I'm sure, many more to come.
Let's hope so.
Congratulations.
Thank you, guys.
There he is, the head coach of the Aggies, Danny Sprinkle, as Utah State gets it done. Big win tonight. That conversation brought to you by Sports Academy and Racket Club. Your results, your live. We'll hear from Josh Aduje coming up next. For those of you listening on KVNU, we'll let you break away. Al Lewis will have Aggie Call coming up next as the Aggies get it done, 101-48. For those sticking around on our network station and our other affiliate stations, Spencer and I will continue to break this down straight ahead. You're listening to Aggie Basketball from Learfield.
You were there, you watched the game, or you heard it all here on KVNU. So now it's your chance to give your thoughts and ask your questions about the action as KVNU Aggie Game Day continues with Aggie Call. The phone number is 435-753-KVNU. Text line is 435-339-0321 for your comments and questions. Aggie Call is brought to you by Daryl's Appliance and beautiful downtown Benson. Advanced Heating and Air, 3-time Best of Northern Utah gold medalist. Advanced Fireplace and Stove, comfort is their business. Golden Spike Electric, Generac, power you can count on. Alpine Home Medical, they bring wellness home. S.E. Needham Jewelers, middle of the block at the sign of the clock. My Mattress, now with 2 locations in Logan. Get your best sleep with My Mattress. Riverwoods Conference Center, Cache Valley's largest, most versatile event center. Prodigy Brewing, Logan's family-friendly brew pub. Best of Northern Utah winner, The Advocates. You didn't deserve to be in an accident, but you do deserve an advocate. Now with offices in Logan. Cache Valley Bank, mountains await. Discover Cache Valley Bank. Aegis Healthcare, character, experience, and trust. Visit myaegis.com. And Jerrick's Fine Jewelry. Make it special. Make it Jerrick's. And now, here's John Russell and the longtime voice of the Aggies, Al Lewis, for KVNU Game Day Aggie Call.
Hey, we are back, and again, Utah State was expected to win their opener tonight when you schedule a Division II opponent. And like we talked about in the pregame, it could have been interchangeable. The game could have been Montana State Billings, or it could have been the South Dakota Mines. It turned out this is the one that fell on the 6th of November, so it counts. It couldn't have counted before tonight is the way it worked out. So this one goes. You get one time on your schedule in the Mountain West Conference that they're asking you only play one Division II opponent. And ironically enough, John Russell, Last year we played one. That was Westminster. Beat them 106-68, and they scored 100 again tonight in the game.
I kind of like that. I kind of like being back here with Al. It's the only thing that gets me through the summer. Football helps, but this is what I'm ready for.
Yeah, because you're a college basketball guy.
I'm a college, but what's even better is to be able to hear the game. I go to the games, but to be able to hear it and have it clear, and what a beautiful thing.
Well, we got to go in for football, and now we're going for basketball as well. And we're here tonight to, again, have your show, folks. But 101-48, the final score. Aggies led by as many as 58 points in this game at 97-39. Got a chance to, I think, see a lot of things. Now, we didn't get to see Max Ogbonkpuolo. He's been out for a long, long time, hasn't hardly practiced. Then they put him in the game on Friday night, and I was kind of surprised because he was cleared and then went right in, and they said it was a little sore, so they decided not to play him in the game tonight. But we did see great Osabor, and boy, we saw another real aspect of this basketball team. To me, watching him, little bigger, kind of reminded me of Sean Daniels.
Yeah.
Someday, back a long time ago in the Stu Morrill years. But he's got those hands, you can tell. He's got that soft stuff. A little more aggressive in some ways sometimes than Sean was. But heck, it was fun to see him play.
Absolutely. And what was even more exciting is when you sit back and you look at the team, you talk about Max not playing tonight. He played the other night. Great playing tonight, but not playing the previous night. You get this team together, you get everybody healthy. I'm trying not to get too excited right off the bat because, like you said, 2 lower level schools, certainly not a perfect game. There are things to be worked on, but you start to look at this team and go, you know what? There's some potential.
The concern I've had watching him was offense. Now, it's not. You should not grade the offense on the game tonight for the future. Because I think they could easily score tonight in this game. But you see that maybe a few more guys can shoot. And, hey, Josh Aduje tonight, again, he ends up with a perfect 8-for-8 shooting night for his 19 points.
Yeah. And so smart with his shot selection. He didn't force anything. I think what you saw tonight is going back to when you talk about the offense. Look, let's face it, we don't have that superstar that can take over a game. We don't have the Sam Merrill. We don't have the J.C. Carroll. We don't have that kind of player on the team. But it's a good enough team that if they work together, work the offense, there are enough options, there are enough guys that can put the ball in the hole that there's potential for points. You to score 101 points, it doesn't matter what level you're at. You had to have been able to run your offense, and they did tonight.
You can tell, though, that if you give Mason Falsov a little room, he can score pretty fast in getting things done. He's terrific he's playing an all-around game right now because we're seeing points, we're seeing rebounds, we're seeing assists, we're seeing steals, these things kind of thing. Now, again, it's 2 games against 2 Division 2 teams, but he's excited to play. He's waited a long time to play. And so there's lots of aspects that we can talk about with Aggie basketball tonight, and that's what we'll do with you and for you. Now, we always have our phone line available, which is 435-753-5868 or 753-KVNU. So that's the phone line. The text line is also available at 435-339-0321 for you to make your questions, comments, opinions, other things known on that show tonight. We're going to talk about the first night of college basketball. I think it was 19 of the rated teams played tonight. We've got 5 or 6 from our conference that are playing tonight. A few of the games are still going on. We'll let you know about that. Bradley, who the Aggies play on Saturday night, won in overtime at UAB tonight. They were up 16 at the half, lost the lead in the second half, and then win in overtime. That shows you a little bit about them already. They had a guy who had like 24 and 15, I think, in their game tonight. So we'll talk more about those things. We can answer questions, make comments, and we'd love to have your comments either with phone calls at 753-KVNU-5868 or, again, the text line is 435-339-0321. We'll be back and get it started with John Russell, Al Lewis here, and with you. Remember, at S.E. Needham Jewelers, Utah gets engaged at the state's oldest jewelry store, and great gifts also available at the Needham's location downtown Logan. Also, we do appreciate the sponsorship of our other sponsors tonight, the Sportsman in downtown Logan, very near S.C. Needham Jewelers, where you'll find, of course, ski equipment. Is the rain going to be? It's going to be snow in the mountains. You're going to get the skiers all excited, probably out of this storm coming in, just starting now. Since 1947, the Sportsman, biking gear, camping supplies, shoes, clothing, and ski equipment downtown Logan, and Riverwoods Conference Center, the versatile conference center at the south end of Logan. Of course, Elements Restaurant now wanting to remind you about Thanksgiving. Make your reservations for Thanksgiving there. And we'll come back with more as we continue. Aggies win big tonight in their opener at the Spectrum, and our Aggie call is underway for the first time this year.
Local sponsors of this Utah State Aggie broadcast are Daryl's Appliance, Advanced Fireplace and Stove, Golden Spike Electric, Alpine Home Medical, S.E. Needham Jewelers, My Mattress, Riverwoods Conference Center, Prodigy Brewing, The Advocates, Cache Valley Bank, and Aegis Healthcare. More interviews and insights are coming as we break down the Aggie action with you and the Aggie Nation on News Talk KVNU, the home of the Aggies.
Thank you for letting Cache Valley Ear, Nose, and Throat, the Allergy Clinic, and the Hearing Aid Center take care of your family medical needs this year. Make sure you call now for an appointment before the end of the year to utilize your cafeteria funds. Located in Providence and the new Three Peaks Medical Plaza, North Logan. The entire staff, along with Dr. Benyon, Blotter, and Robinette, wish you a safe and wonderful holiday season. Go to CacheValleyENT.com for details. Most insurance products, including Select Med, are accepted.
Do you have a backup generator, or have you explored the options of adding one to your home? Generac backup generators will keep your home or business safe and cool during the summer months if the power goes out. Do you already have a system? Golden Spike Electric can service it for you. If you don't have one, Golden Spike Electric can find the right model for your needs. Find them online at gsegenerators.com or call 435-257-3016. Golden Spike Electric and Generac, power you can count on.
Hello, I'm Ashley Nate, Operations Manager at Cache Valley Bank. My calm and caring personality combined with my quick problem-solving skills help me provide my customers with the personalized attention and exceptional service they deserve. And I look forward to providing you with that same experience. Come visit the Preston branch and ask for Ashley, or give me a call to see what opening an account with Cache Valley Bank can do for you. I look forward to meeting you. Cache Valley Bank, member FDIC.
This Aggie broadcast is brought to you by Primrose Home Care and Hospice. Exceptional home health care in the comfort of your own home on KVNU, the heritage home for the Aggies.
And Utah State with the victory tonight. Aggie Call is underway, and it's your show. Hey, we do appreciate Advanced Heating and Air Conditioning. Right now, if you have them come and do service for you, they will, if you give them a canned food item or something for the food pantry here in the area, they will give you, $20, $25 off on the service call. I think that's really nice, as Advanced Heating's thinking about people struggling this holiday season, want to help out the food pantry. And check more again at Advanced Heating and Air Conditioning when you call them to make the service appointment at 752-7272. All right, John Russell is here with me. Al Lewis and James is always nice enough to call in on a lot of the basketball games. James, where are you in football? Do you like football?
I love football, and I've been watching every game, but some of the guys that call in just know it a lot better than me, so I just enjoy listening to you.
But you're a basketball guy, I know, down through the years. So what did you think? What are you thinking so far? I mean, hey, it's you can't judge everything yet because Division II with 2 wins the Aggies have. But what do you think?
I love Aggie basketball. It's just so great, as John mentioned, to be back in the Spectrum and see the players. I think I was a little nervous, because you don't know what you're going to get. But as you guys were saying, I'm excited. This team looks like they're going to be a good team to contend with. And to your point, Division II teams, but the first game, they looked like, the first game. Tonight, they looked a little bit more together in terms of their playing, and I really like what I'm seeing. Mason, he's going to be a good player. It's good to see him out on the field. And then the other one that you were talking about, Osabor, he he's got some. He's a big guy, right? He
Oh,
can
he's
push
huge.
people around a little bit, and I think I'd like to see. I'm interested in your comments. Both teams that we played, we had them by height significantly, but I didn't see a lot of play underneath with our big guys, except when Osborne got in. He kind of powered himself in there, and I'm wondering, is that just who we're playing, or these guys need a little more practice in terms of playing underneath there?
Okay.
Was one of the things that I noticed.
Okay.
And then the other thing, and you guys may know this, that I wanted to ask you about tonight, both games, the scoreboard, in terms of the stats, fouls and player points on both teams, is there something wrong with the boards in there in terms of keeping score of fouls and points with each of the players on the teams and even on the centerpiece? So I don't know if you have any insight on that.
Okay, well, I don't have any insight about the scoreboard inside, but I'm thinking that maybe, I don't know, maybe had they not practiced enough with it before the year started, or was it not plugged into the right place? But I would hope that eventually the scoreboard, if it has those places on there, they should use them. I mean, it shouldn't be something that they're just going to get rid of. And I would imagine there's just got to be something they haven't got. Has it been both games,
Yes.
James? Both games they haven't had any of the stats up. Somebody else, one of my friends, texted me and said the same thing, and maybe I'll have to. We'll see if we can try to get a hold of somebody and find out for sure if Utah State's going to change that. Okay, and then okay, and James, appreciate your call, and let's talk about great Osibor. He is 6'8" and 250 pounds is what's listed on the sheet about him. Of course, from England originally, went to Montana State. He actually is listed as a junior. So we've got 2 years that Great could be here to play basketball in this system. That's a big reason, I'm sure, where Danny Sprinkle decided to have him come here as well, coming over. We do have an assistant coach who is from England, who played at Wyoming in his days, who's a part of Danny Sprinkle's staff. So that is a tie over there. We had 2 great guys from England last year. It's great to have them again.
Well, that's, you look at, we had a nice little stretch of guys from Portugal. Mm-hmm. Maybe we can make a nice little run into England and maybe get a combination of both. James brought up a good point, and that's really what I liked about seeing Osibor tonight is he does have the physicality, the size to play inside. You have to look at the other guys. Isaac Johnson, I think he's had 2 decent games. He had a good, solid game.
He's a skilled guy that really would rather probably shoot from 10, 15, 20, 25 feet than maybe go inside all of the time.
He's got a little bit of that mid-range game. He was 1 for 1 from beyond the arc tonight. Made a shot. I don't think he's a banger. He doesn't look like a guy that wants to get in there and
he actually got a little upset on a couple of plays inside when he thought he was fouled going to the basket.
But you got to be physical. Sacco, who I'm really excited about, I love his defensive presence. The guy has length. He can jump out of the gym. You can tell the offensive game's a work in progress.
He went from the first practice I remember watching him play to where I'm seeing now there's a lot of development and progress made there to help him and be a part of the game. Comes off the bench, can be a guy that blocks shots and can be a long arm defender and all. The dunks, that dunk tonight was special, and we need more of that. But I think the point that James made, and I think you'd agree, the Aggies played better tonight than they played Friday night.
Oh, no doubt. No doubt.
Now, I don't know what the level of the competition. This team did beat the Montana State Billings last year when they played in a non-conference game. So South Dakota Mines did beat them. But it just seemed like the Aggies played a lot better tonight.
Well, they seem to be clicking, and it's amazing. This really was a situation where you're like, okay, the Aggies against Billings, they had their moments. They would have these little stretches where things would go well. But they would also have stretches where it would kind of fall apart. Offensively, defensively, they didn't seem to be able to get into any flow. Tonight, you didn't see those. I was very impressed with the defense tonight. For the most part, played solid all night long and really made it very difficult. So many not only missed shots for South Dakota Mines, but air balls, and that was just big defense.
They only made 6 shots in the second half in 27 attempts, I think it was, for them. The other night, Utah State held the Montana State Billings team to 38% shooting. Tonight it's 34.5%. The Aggies did force them into 15 turnovers. The other night it was 19. Utah State only committed 11 turnovers. The other night, 11 turnovers. So that's not handling it too bad in that kind of game with a lot of the second teamers and other people getting a lot of playing time, too, in the game as well. So other than the start of the game where they got down, they were down 2-0. Then they were down 6-3 before they turned it around. So 3 lead changes in the game. Aggies at that point, after they were down 6-3, went on a 16-0 run. And eventually there was another run in the second half of 19-0. And you win the game by 53, and there's a lot of it right there by Utah State. So thank you, James, for calling in, talking about things with us post-game. We'd love to have you join with us on the phone line, 753-KVNU, or the text line. So we will go there next, and we'll try to see what comments or questions or whatever you have on the text line. Again, it's 435-339-0321 or 753-KVNU as game day continues. The Aggies win tonight in their opener at the Spectrum. Again, the final score was 101-48.
Aggies Home Health and Hospice is your premier healthcare provider. When your loved one needs care, at home, wherever home is, allow Aggies Home Health and Hospice to help. I'm Josh Fenton, part of the Aggies team, where we customize healthcare for optimal results. Our award-winning staff brings character, experience, and trust. Contact us today and see why we were voted best of Northern Utah. Call 435-723-9000 or visit our website at myagis.com.
Beezer Lock & Key specializes in securing your world with their expertise in locks, keys, and hardware. Every aspect of their services is meticulously tailored to ensure your safety. They offer a vast selection of hardware brands and access control options along with custom master key systems. With Beezer Lock & Key, you have control of your facility's access 24/7. For 28 years, Beezer has provided top-notch security solutions that stand unmatched in the industry. Visit 4th North, 1st West, and Logan or go to beezerlock.com to discover more.
Prodigy Brewing is the perfect place to meet up with family and friends this holiday season. Whether you're sipping on a carefully crafted brew, enjoying a delicious juicy burger, or biting into a sizzling wood-fire pizza, Prodigy Brewing is the place to be. Come in for Trivia Tuesdays or with friends and family to celebrate the season. Voted best craft beer and bar and grill in Northern Utah. Cheers to making unforgettable memories at Prodigy Brewing on Center Street in downtown Logan. Prodigy Brewing, extraordinary service and family friendly.
This is Justin Hamilton from Cafe Sabor and Off-Premise Catering. The holidays can be so hectic. That's why I'm so excited to make your holiday catering so simple. Maybe it's a last-minute holiday office lunch, family get-together, or corporate party. I can handle any size gathering with my Off-Premise Catering team. You'll love Cafe Sabor's favorites or Hamilton Steak and Seafood, prime rib, salmon, and all the trimmings. The menu is up to you. Let my Off-Premise Catering team handle your last-minute holiday event at your office, home, Cafe Sabor, or one of our many banquet facilities. Call 755-9500. That's 755-9500. Happy holidays from your friends at Cafe Sabor and your Off-Premise Catering team.
News, talk, Aggies. KVNU, Logan, 610 AM and 102.1 FM. The Aggies are always number one here. It's KVNU Game Day with Al Lewis and John Russell.
It certainly is, and season is underway. It'll be hot and heavy. You're going to play 6 basketball games before Thanksgiving, the Aggies will. And got to get a brand new team, brand new coaching staff, brand new system all put together. And they played 2 Division II teams, and they win the opener tonight by a score of 101-48 over the Hard Rockers, one of the greatest nicknames in college sports.
I loved it.
I mean, you know, you'd think that they should have somebody from Kiss or Poison or something like be on the sidelines with them or something.
Get the Hard Rock Cafe to sponsor. Maybe that's it. Get a little logo on there. And
I don't know if they have one in Rapid City, South Dakota.
Probably not.
They're up there in the Black Hills. And their school very well known for their mining, their science, their mathematics, their technology. It's a good academic school. There's a special lab that's up there in the Black Hills that a lot of national people go to work on rocks and mining and underground and all of that, and this school's involved in it and all. So Utah State beat the Hard Rockers tonight in the game. We're brought to you tonight by Logan's family-friendly brew pub. Dining with family and friends for lunch, dinner, and Sunday brunch is great at Prodigy Brewing. appreciate them sponsoring. And John, what do we have that people would like to ask or comment on in our text line, which is 435-339-0321?
Well, just a couple comments at this point, and love to hear more. So please let us know. First question came from 2749, and James brought this up. We'll try and figure it out, but it was a little frustrating for those that are regular attendees in the Spectrum. You know that they'll put up the current lineup and the points, fouls, so forth. That was missing, as well as along the bottom of the main midcourt scoreboard. So hopefully they'll figure that out. Maybe they're still trying to figure it out themselves. You said maybe they didn't plug it in, but when you've got an entire new lineup roster, maybe they didn't want to put that pressure on. So we'll see what happens.
If it's there, and unless it's broken in some way and they haven't figured it out yet, if it's there, they're going to plug it in or get it working. Yeah. And now already 3 or 4 people have got a hold of me either through text or through our text or for phone calls. We're already hearing about it. As Aggie fans, they want the stats back. So if there's something wrong, they got to fix it.
Well, it's great to look up on the scoreboard. Somebody gets a foul, you immediately kind of look over there. It's at third, fourth. Where are they at? So it's a good thing. Hopefully they get that fixed. From 93-15, this team has a really different feeling than last year. Looks like the team will win more games than expected. If we play like this, I can see us easily winning 20-plus games.
Well, they were picked 9th out of 11 teams in the Mountain West Conference preseason, and even Coach Sprinkle said, I'm surprised we were picked that high because there's nobody that they knew about really on this team. Jalen and I talked about it. It's 180 degrees basketball. This is a team that's all defense-oriented first, and defense leads to offense, and I think you could see that with some of the steals and some of the things that can happen with defense in this team. And Coach Odom's teams were all about getting up and down the floor, getting the fast shot, getting the open threes, moving those kind of things. It was a completely different team in some ways.
No doubt, but like you said, defense leads to those quick, runaways. And this is 1027 made the comment, I like the fast pace. But when you looked at that speed, it came from blocked shots. It came from turnovers. It came from steals. It came from making the opponent take bad shots, which leads to ugly rebounds. It was something I had a lot of people comment in the game against Billings that we got out-rebounded. But I wasn't so upset because a lot of those bad rebounds were the result of bad shots. You line up, you're boxing a guy out, you're saying, okay, the ball's going to come off the rim.
And then it flies way over
and
the
it
top.
goes flying. You're not going to get that board.
But the coach made an emphasis about it as he talked about post-game the other night, that he said, we've got to rebound better, and the team did respond to that tonight.
They did.
And it wasn't exactly like an individual that did it. It was like as a group, as a team. I mean, Osabor did have 9 boards, I think it was, to lead the way. But there were some other guys who there were a lot of solid rebounding out there, and we ended up with a 21-5 second chance points in this game, and we ended up with a rebound advantage of 47-21 in this game. I think it started off 13-1 on the boards early in the game at one time.
Well, you talk about Osabor, and he really would be your player of the game in mine. He was very physical. He made his presence known, took the basketball to the basket as much as he could. In 18 minutes, he has 14 points, 9 boards, 4 assists. I love that, the fact that he's not just a black hole where ball goes in there, it's not coming out. He passed the ball. But you look at Burris, who had a great game. He had 9 boards, and you had 3 other Aggies with 5 rebounds. So, as a team, they really made that effort to crash the boards and not give second shot opportunities.
Burris was Freshman of the Year in the Big Sky last year at Idaho. He had 5 boards and 5 points in the first game, so he's been active on the boards, and that's good to see. And you do have, I think almost everybody on this team wants to make the extra pass or wants to get it to one more pass to get it to the open guy to make an easier shot, too.
Well, you looked at when shots were made, there was a lot of finger pointing, like, a nice pass. Thank you. Good job. So it's something that I really like seeing is these guys seem to, here we are. We're in the second game of the season, and already you can see they really enjoy playing together. They really kind of jive together. And what's interesting, I'm going to be interested to see how this wears on, because tonight, we had 12 players, 11 people play. That's going to have to be trimmed down a little bit. And there's a couple guys that you can say got some time off, off the bench that probably won't. But, what does he trim that down to? Is he a guy that wants to run 10?
I would say, just off the top of my head, looking at it, that there's about 9 guys that eventually will really be the major figures on this basketball team. And if Ian Martinez gets eligible, that would be 10, because he is a very talented player. He's played at Utah and went to Maryland as well. And they just, as of when we talked to the coach yesterday, the NCAA still has not let them know. Right. And they'd like at least a no answer, rather than either yes or no. And most of the guys in his position, to be honest, have been told no. You, if you're not a graduate, you've already transferred once, you're probably going to have to sit out.
So for those that may not be aware of what's going on or have heard anything, what is the situation with Ian Martinez?
So Ian Martinez was originally at Utah, and his dad was there as a basketball analyst or assistant coach or something. And then he went to Maryland. And and then the Maryland thing, he wanted to transfer back into this area. He's originally, I think, Puerto Rico or someplace like that, as I recall. And he's asked for a waiver. And there's usually, if you're in a situation like this, unless you're, there's got to be some extenuating circumstances that they put in as the reasons why he left where he left, Maryland or Utah or whatever, that shouldn't be counted against him to give him another opportunity here. All those cases are looked at by the NCAA. And Coach has said, in fact, I think, do you want to hear what Coach said yesterday?
Absolutely.
This is what Coach said yesterday this is what he said about the Ian Martinez situation. And then I don't know if it changed today, but this is what he said yesterday.
It's so disappointing because we turned his appeal in before a lot of these kids that they've already gotten decisions back. Which I don't know how they do that, but I mean, it pisses me off, to be honest, just because, I'm worried about Ian, and he's our kid, and I just know who he is, and I know what he went through, and it's really disappointing that the NCAA has not made a decision yet, and we got the first game, when a lot of these other kids have already, even now, a lot of them have gotten no, but at least they got a no, and this kid's still just up in the air.
So, and again, what he went through. So there is some circumstance or whatever that would justify the chance to have a waiver to have it be eligible in like listed on the roster as he is right now. I think he's listed as a junior.
Yeah.
I think it is.
So, but the idea is like you said, he transferred from Utah to Maryland, and that's allowed. He didn't have to sit out a year, correct? Or
he's listed. Okay, he is listed as a graduate senior.
Okay.
So, again, I'm sorry, he's listed as a guard, a senior, not a graduate. See, there's the deal, too. If you're a graduate, you have another year, you can easily move anywhere. Darius Brown, this is his 6th year of basketball, in college basketball, but he's with the COVID and things like that, and so he has that opportunity to do that. So, but he's listed as a senior, so really technically he's going to maybe have to sit out 1 year here to play 1 year here is kind of the way it would work out.
Which is tough. And as you said, the frustrating thing, he is not the first, he's not the only guy. There are multiple guys that have been in the same situation. And the
some have said yes, but some have said no, and at least Utah State would just like to know yes or no at this point.
And I'm sure he would too.
Yeah, and that's where we're at. Okay, 753 KVNU, our phone number, or the text line is 339-0321. Brought to you tonight by Jarek's Fine Jewelry. Make it special, make it Jarek's, as the Aggies win 101-48 was the final score tonight in basketball, and we'll be back with more of Game Day postgame and Aggie Call, and 339-0321 is the text line.
Advanced Heating and AC and Advanced Fireplace and Stove want to help local families this year with a food drive. Drop off your canned foods at Advanced Heating across from DI or hand them to one of their technicians when they come to your home for a repair. And to say thank you, the Advanced team will match all your contributions and offer a 20% discount on your next service call. Find out more at AdvancedFireplaceandStove.com or call 752-7272. Donate to Advanced Fireplace and Stove's canned food drive for local families.
We're not comfortable until you are. Advanced Heating and Air.
Copiers, printers, service, and supplies are just the beginning. Les Olson IT is the premier source for your business's structured cabling, IT, software, telephones, and security systems. We partner with you to find the ideal solution to all of your office technology needs. Tell us your goals and we'll get you there. Find out more at lesolson.com.
Les Olson IT.
When it comes to home care, it's important to know you have a choice. If you or a loved one is in need of hospice or home health services, remember that Primrose Home Care and Hospice believes in treating the patient as well as the problem. We work directly with you and your doctor to create a health plan that's catered to your needs. Our team is devoted to providing options in the freedom and safety of your own home. Visit us at primrosecare.com or call to schedule a free consultation. Primrose Home Care and Hospice, your local hospice and home health provider since 2006.
Fall is here. This is Mark at the Sportsman on Main Street. I invite you into our amazing store to see the new fall collection of amazing clothing, shoes, and outerwear for women and men. We have brands like Cool, Fiore, Fjallraven, and we have brought in some new brands from Europe that you will love. Trust me, you will look truly unique in whatever you buy from the Sportsman. Come in and let us take care of you. You'll be glad you did. For over 75 years, come and see us at the Sportsman on Main in downtown Logan with tons of parking in the back.
This Aggie broadcast is brought to you by Cafe Sabor, your favorite Latino restaurant in the historic train station on 6th West and Center on News Talk KVNU.
Yeah, our first edition for basketball, and we'll be back here after the Bradley game on Saturday night for another edition. We might be extending football into basketball that day as well, because remember, it's a doubleheader. The Aggies will play football at 11. We'll be on at 11 o'clock with our game day pregame. They play at 1 o'clock at home, so the game should get over sometime around 4:15. We'll do as much of post-game football Aggie call as we can, and then I'm going to get a hold of Jalen Moore right before we go to the broadcast of Bradley and the Aggies in basketball. Scott Gerard will be doing that game back there and in Illinois. And so we'll go about 5:35 or so to give you a little preview with Jalen, and he'll have his keys, which incidentally tonight, I should mention those two. He did his locks from Beezer Lock and Key as he wanted to find leaders. And I think now all of a sudden you see what Great can do. You see what, and I think Darius Brown is obviously, the second. He's a terrific leader. But, I think that in Great, you've got those two guys who've been with Coach Sprinkle, know the system, and you can tell they're really solid. And he wanted to see the offense better, and I think we saw that tonight.
Saw that.
Yeah, as the team shoots 62.9% in the game. So those were the Beezer locks to win. And we knew that it was going to be a win tonight by Utah State. So now Jalen will analyze a little bit tougher to be able to take care of Bradley, who incidentally tonight we mentioned went to UAB and were up 40-24 at the half and then went to overtime. They had a Malevi Lions, that's 6'9" senior, scored 24 points, 14 rebounds to lead them in the game. I think they had 3 or 4 guys in double figures. They won 73-71 in their game tonight. The Cal State Northridge Matadors women's basketball team beat the Lady Aggies tonight, 79-64. And if you missed it today, Utah State did get their bid to the NCAA soccer, and they have to play BYU down there after they beat BYU earlier in the year, right? And BYU's a higher-rated team than the Aggies. And the Aggies have this great season, and they have to match up again with BYU. I don't know why they couldn't give them somebody else and then let them play BYU the second game or something like that.
Sadly, I think a lot of it has to do with travel. They try and keep people together. Yeah. And let's not forget about the Aggie volleyball team tonight, who defeated Boise
in
up there
4 games.
At the
they
SS
lost
Center.
The first game tonight, and then they won.
Came back.
I think they've won 10 straight. I think it is
they're
now.
Playing phenomenal ball, but they capture the Mountain West regular season title, so they'll go into the tournament over. It's over the Thanksgiving.
It's during the week. I think it's right before Thanksgiving or something.
So they'll
like
go
that.
in as the number 1 seed.
Yep,
so
they will.
Lots of good things happening.
All right, back to the text line now. Again, for your questions, comments. Remember, the phone line's still available, too, 753-KVNU. Brought to you by Adams Wealth Advisors tonight. Over a decade of service, earning the trust of individuals they proudly serve. Adams Wealth Advisors. Again, adamswealthadvisors.com. What do you got over there?
Well, I appreciate the listeners agreeing. It's early with me. It's early in the season, and as the season wears on, they'll kind of turn on me a little bit, but that's okay. Just the comment, we talked about good defense, and I think we're seeing that already very early. That's you've talked about it. Our listeners have talked about it. This is what this team's going to be built around.
The first thing when Coach Sprinkle met with them is, okay, we're going to be a defensive team. And it didn't mean any difference of how guys could play offense or whatever. That's what he wants to have. And
that will lead to a faster-paced game. It will lead to easy buckets, more wide-open buckets. And it's, what I love is if you don't want to play defense, there's some nice padded chairs sitting right there by Coach.
I think he's mentioned that too.
He has. One other comment in 93-15, and just following up, wanted to know how good is Bradley. They come, first of all, from a good basketball conference.
A great tradition.
So, that helps a lot. And, just as you see with a lot of teams, that this kid that you're talking about, we'll have to make sure we get the name Leons. He's from the Netherlands. Senior, he's been around for a while. But like you said, they had two other guys that scored in double figures. But you have to look at 40-24 at the end of the first half. Then they kind of fell apart at the second half. Early in the season, that's what it's all about, being consistent, being able to play 40 minutes of good, solid ball.
But the coach there, and I can't remember the guy who came here last year with his team, if he saw his team do that, lose the lead in the second half, but still win the game on the road in overtime, I think that shows something a little bit about them, how they were able to regroup enough to go back and win the 5-minute period after they had lost their big lead.
Oh, absolutely. And it takes experience. It takes a team that has a certain level of confidence to be able to do that. The fact that they did it, that's huge. And it's going to be very interesting. Talked to a couple of people at the game tonight, very excited, shared the same feeling I did that, there's some potential here. But we're going on the road against a good basketball team.
Aggies beat Bradley here 84-62. As I remember, it kind of like they blew it out in the second half, it seems like, as I remember. That was the second game of the year here last year. Now it'll be the second game of the year, and we go back there for the game coming up. Let's see. Anything else in the text line?
That's all for now.
Let's go to Josh Aduje, who tonight was perfect shooting and had his 19-point game, and he talked to the media after the game up at the Spectrum.
It's perfect from the field, 8 of 8. How's it feel having a perfect game, so to speak?
Yeah, it feels good. We work so hard all year round. We've been out here since June, trying to work up to this point, you know what I mean? So it's good to get our first win. And I couldn't score without someone passing me the ball, you know what I mean? So it's credit to my teammates as well, finding me when I was open. And we got 26 assists, I think, today. So, that's the type of team we are. We're unselfish and we're passable, so it's good.
It seemed like it took a few minutes to kind of get going. Was there just South Dakota Mines hit their first 3 shots, but once you guys got rolling, it just seemed like there was no...
Yeah, I mean...
Never had a lull after that.
Yeah. Like, I think, we're a team that, gets amped up playing defense. You know what I mean? They had a couple... I think they scored their first 3 baskets too. You know what I mean? So once we, settled into the game a little bit and started getting some stops, our offense follows suit. So, but that's just the type of team we are. Once we start getting stops, we're unstoppable.
You talked about getting that first win and how good it feels, but I mean, how good does it feel to get it in that fashion? 101-48, wow. huge rout of that team. What does it mean to get a win like that?
It means a lot. Like, Coach Sprinkle demands a lot, from us as players. And that's what we signed up for. We want to be the best versions of ourselves. So, we've been working hard since June. So it's kind of a little bit, cherry on top, but it's only the start. It's our first game, but we've got 30-something more games to go. So.
Your first one here that counts in the Spectrum. What did you think of the crowd, the environment?
Amazing. He was literally sitting on the bench talking to Mason and Fish. Like, I haven't had a home crowd have that type of presence before. I'm so used to the crowd being against me. So to have them on our side is amazing. And, they really get into it, and it helps, It can change the dynamic of the game. And not a lot of people like coming to the Spectrum, so we're trying to keep that tradition going.
There are 2 stats on here I want to ask you about because I want to know which one you think Coach Sprinkle will be more excited about.
Yeah.
26 assists and 13 steals. Which one of those do you think he likes more?
Oh, that's a tough one. I would say both could be interchangeable, I'll have to say 26 assists. I think defense is expected having a coach like that, but 26 assists is just a testament to an unselfish team and a team that's willing to move the ball and let other people get everybody get involved in the game. So I mean, if you can have 26 assists every game, who's going to stop that?
So I know, Garza, you have 19, Mason has 17, Darius has 10, but kind of going with those steals, you guys are scoring the points, but you're also getting a lot of those steals as well. It wasn't for a team to have a team's scorers also be, racking up a lot of defensive stats there.
Yeah, I mean, like I said, Sprink is he is a harper on defense. He is a defensive-minded coach. So yeah, I've had my fair share of, you need to play defense, lock in. So it's good finally to see it start paying off and seeing ourselves, picking up the habits and stuff like that. But like I said, it's only the beginning. We've still got a long way to go.
So there's another guy from London, England, who is he did come out and play prep basketball in high school, kind of in Arizona, before I think he eventually went to Coastal Carolina. I think that's the background. We'll have, I think Jason Walker did a nice interview with Josh before the season started that we'll probably have maybe a week from tomorrow night when we have the Southern Utah game. We'll hear from him on that. We are nice enough to be joined by Gio tonight on our Aggie Call postgame against 753 KVNU. Aggies win 101-48, then should beat South Dakota Mines and did. But Gio, what's your thoughts, or what do you want to talk about?
Well, if our friend Josh there is excited about the crowd for that game, he's got a lot to look forward to. That was a great crowd for a D2 game. But come those tough conference matchups in January and February, he's going to have a whole new life experience. So looking forward to being part of that. So I loved watching this team. It felt like a throwback to the days of Stu, although running a little more and a little more free on offense, but playing two posts, nobody does that anymore. And just the effort they were putting in on defense. I was thinking about how I think that Falslev and Brown are they're not big, but they're both strong, and I think they're a scary combo defensively at the guard line. And then there's just plenty of size. The one thing I was thinking about, though, as far as things that I was worried about as I watched this team, I was a little bit worried about point guard minutes when Brown isn't out there. I'm hoping that Javon comes around, but I guess Great Osabor can play backup point guard if needed.
He took the ball up down the floor a couple times, didn't he?
Yeah. I don't know if you heard the coach's comments earlier. He said something about that he can do that more than people think, but if he keeps doing it like he did tonight, he's going to have to get everybody. He's going to have to get Blake Anderson to bring out the fans football helmet.
Yeah, because eventually he might start throwing it around a little bit more. But crashing into people. Yep.
Yeah. And the other thing I was worried about too, though, is one thing that we had a big advantage with last year was with the size that we had on the perimeter with Bairstow,
Shulga and those guys.
And so really hoping that Max can come back healthy, because he kind of fills that gap. And also it looked like Phelps is redshirting and maybe Dallin Grant, but he dressed, so I'm not sure. Do you guys have any?
The coach told the coach has come. Okay, Gio, thanks a lot for calling. I'll answer that. The coach did say before the season started, I asked him in the first time we met with him before the game Friday, is anybody got a red shirt, or can the red shirts play in this game? He said the red shirts could play in the exhibition if they were going to red shirt. They couldn't play starting today the way basketball goes. Football's a little different, and we've talked about that before. But he acted like, I don't think we can redshirt anybody. Now, I think Phelps has been a little bit injured, and I don't know if he's back to full play or whatever. I don't know the situation about the Grant Dallin, who's from Cedar City. But I don't know if they're really going to redshirt, but I think at this point you can see they're probably down the line to be able to find a spot in. Now, Phelps is a little bigger at 6'6", and, Grant's, I guess, kind of got that same size. He's listed at 6'8", 218. But I don't know if there's really a place right now. You can't play much more than about 9 or 10 guys eventually. You really can't.
Right. And again, you look at what the lineup is showing now. There's some guys that, we'll see how that goes. It was good to see Brenchley out there getting some minutes.
I love that. I love it that Landon finally scored as an Aggie. He wanted that free throws in his last year.
And he got it, so we were so glad to see that. Grant, whether he's going to play more minutes, we'll see how that goes.
I even think that the time right now for, again, the transfer from Washington, Jackson Grant is a little bit even limited behind where you've got Sacco to back up even Osabar and Johnson. But again, if you get any foul trouble, then you'd have to go to him. And he showed a little bit more tonight with his offense and the move and the shot off the glass. And he got in there and got some fouls and some plays and things like that too.
But again, if you can keep healthy, keep in mind that Max didn't play tonight. So there's minutes that need to be given at that point.
Because he has to play on the wing, you need him.
Yeah, so it's going to be interesting to see how the lineup plays out, because you have to look at, if Sacco's playing, that's great. It's the defensive presence. He kind of reminds me, obviously doesn't have the offensive skills, but of the old Georgetown teams, where they basically had a great center in, Ewing and Mutombo, Harrington, those guys, Morning. And then they had guys that were extremely athletic and could do other things.
They'd come from the side when those guys were being attacked, and they'd block the shot from the side or get the rebound away.
And I think if Sacco can continue to develop, then all of a sudden you get Osabar's able to do more. You're able to let Falslev and Uduje do more. But if he doesn't develop, what do you do? How's the lineup going to be made? I think it was Gio that was saying you have a double high post.
And they played a little bit at one time. Seemed like I maybe missed it, but it almost looked like Sacco, Osabar, and Isaac Johnson. The three of them were all in at one time. It almost seemed like to me. So that's kind of an interesting combination. 24 minutes for Javon Jackson, 24 minutes for Mason Falslev. They were the number one players of time tonight in this game. More on Aggie Call. We'd love to have you join with us. One more segment for texts at 435-339-0321 or phone calls 753-KVNU. Back after this.
Adams Wealth Advisors is proud to announce that they've been named as one of the best financial advisory firms in the country by USA Today. Start maximizing your wealth potential with a team of experienced advisors who specialize in working with high net worth individuals. Let Adams Wealth Advisors help you achieve your financial goals with a personalized approach to investment management and planning. For more information on how Adams Wealth Advisors can help you achieve your financial goals, go to adamswealthadvisors.com. That's adamswealthadvisors.com.
For more than a century, couples have shopped at S.C. Needham Jewelers. Known for a large selection of beautiful diamonds, we now have both natural and lab-grown diamonds. You're sure to find a diamond engagement ring that will fit your budget. The possibilities today are endless as you select the perfect ring. Show her you'll cherish her forever with a diamond, either natural or lab-grown, from the store where Utah gets engaged. S.C. Needham Jewelers, middle of the block, at the sign of the clock.
Security. It's the most precious thing you can give your home, especially if it's guaranteed. No cheap locks, no weak keys, no inadequate hardware, just the expertise and precision and security. Beezer Lock & Key believes there's no place like a safe home, and no home safer than one secured by them. It may seem they only sell locks and keys, but what they really sell is peace of mind. Search Beezer Lock & Key or go to 4th North and 1st West and just add confidence.
Hi, I'm Jay Broadbent with Alpine Home Medical. I'd like to invite you to learn more about us. Since 1997, we've been Utah's premier one-stop shop for home medical equipment. What sets us apart at Alpine Home Medical is the superior level of customer service. We provide home oxygen, CPAPs, wheelchairs, scooters, breast pumps, and so much more. Come on down and get to know us.
Alpine Home Medical, we bring wellness home.
Visit alpinehomemedical.com.
Talking about the Aggies. It's KVNU Game Day. Call 753-KVNU or 800-369-KVNU.
And the text line is 339-0321 as the Aggies win tonight in their opener. As we expected they would beat South Dakota Mines, but they really did play, I think, better than they played on Friday night to cruise to this win tonight. Offense, defense, they rebounded better, did some other things. But, again, it is a Division II team, and you go on the road to play a Missouri Valley team on Saturday night in their next game. Then they get Southern Utah at home, and then they go to the Cayman Islands tournament. And the teams down there are pretty capable teams, including, I think, Marshall won 20-some-odd games last year, who they start the tournament with. So you said you have something in the text line.
One more comment. I just want to follow up on this again from 1027. I have to think that the new players, including coaches, have to love the Aggie crowd, and we're feeding off of it all night. The students really help boost our players. They have a new tradition. When they hit 100,
they take their shirts
the guys take their shirts off, and I think everybody loved that.
Waving them around and stuff.
I got there 45 minutes before the game, and the students on half court were already like 3/4 of the way up. Behind the basket were half. They filled it up. Hats off to the herd. They for early season, they were packed in there. They were loud, and we heard it from Josh. You know, the players loved it.
He has obviously Coastal Carolina did not have home crowds that were very big,
and
he'd only run into it if he went on the road to somewhere where somebody was kind of tough. Oh no, Aggies Home Health and Hospice. Remember, their core values are character, experience, and trust, and you can get a hold of myagis.com for your home health care needs, one of our game day sponsors. Today in the Mountain West Conference, the teams that played, Portland State beat Air Force 62-55, but New Mexico routed Texas Southern 92-55. And Colorado State was behind a lot of the game to Louisiana Tech, but they came back and won 81-73. And now you got Fresno State leading Fresno Pacific in the second half, 53-47. And in the second half, it's on FS1, San Diego State 61 and Cal State Fullerton 46 in that game.
Yeah, just quick follow-up. I have an update here. Fresno State's 58-53 over Fresno Pacific, about 7.5. And San Diego State, the interesting thing about that, they're ranked 17th. They're the team that's, everybody's looking to take care of business in the Mountain West. They struggled in the first half with Fullerton, but they're pulling away in the second half.
And Colorado State had 4 guys in double figures, and Isaiah Stevens was almost, 18, 16, and then he had 15. So they got some other guys who are scoring besides him.
And that's scary because, with Colorado State, you knew if Stevens was going to get his 20-25, you were okay if nobody else did anything. If he gets some support, they could be dangerous. Great day, lots of going on in the basketball. Top 25, only one upset, and it's a team that those of us here in Logan sadly know the team well.
The team that pulled off the upset is having quite a year. They're kind of having like a Utah State day from Saturday when we won soccer, volleyball, and football, and now we win basketball tonight, but these guys have been doing it all year.
James Madison goes into East Lansing and defeats number 4 Michigan State in overtime. 79-76. Usually when you're on somebody else's court, goes to overtime, it's on, they have the advantage. But I'll tell you what, buy your James Madison stock now because they're off to a great start.
Utah 101, Eastern Washington 66. BYU was way ahead of Houston Baptist in their game tonight. I know that was going on. And let's see if I can get that score from the Southern Utah. Southern Utah was playing Bakersfield. They lost 73-72 at Bakersfield. Okay. Southern Utah did, who will be here next Tuesday night in the Spectrum the next time they play at home.
And I think Weber, they play tomorrow night, I think.
Yeah, and Utah Valley beat Carroll College tonight. So those are, and so I think we covered the conference. Ryan Odom's team got beat by McNeese State tonight in the Virginia Commonwealth opener. The final there was 76-65. Max Scholga had 22, hit 6 of 10 threes in the game. But Sean Bairstow's not listed as playing tonight, so I don't know if he's hurt or what's happened. And Rylan Jones scored 8 points as Samford lost to Purdue, who's third in the nation, and lost big, 98-45, similar game to ours. But Rylan had 8 points, 2 assists playing for Samford. Did not start for them, but he played off the bench.
Stephen Ashworth transferred to Creighton. They play tomorrow. That's a good basketball team right there.
They're number 8 in the country right now, and so it'll be interesting to see how that works. And, of course, we will keep an eye on those things throughout the season as well. So Anything else then, John?
We appreciate everybody.
Yep.
Everybody's in their preseason form. You know, we're going to get there as the season wears on. But just so good to be back and great to see the Spectrum loud and energized, and let's keep that up.
I'm always grateful you come up there and tell us how it felt up there in these things going on. Okay, one final look at the final stats when we come back for Cache Valley Bank. Game day brought to you by DD Auto and Salvage. They can pick up and haul away your junk or metal. No job's too big. 787-1204. And we'll finish it up right after this. As the Aggies win tonight, we'll get the final stats next.
It's that first kiss, that moment in time.
This is Jarek from Jarek's Fine Jewelry. Everyone knows us as an engagement ring store, but not everyone knows about everything else we do. Custom design, our in-house laser jewelry repair. We offer fashion jewelry, charm bracelets, necklaces, earrings, birthstone jewelry, watches. We love people to just look and make a wish list. Stop in and say hi.
Jarek's Fine Jewelry. Make it special, make it Jarek's.
This is Ryan at My Mattress. Life is good. Life at My Mattress is good too. Why might I say that? Because today is a good day to slay a Goliath. The other day I went into a mattress store here in Logan that has 2,500 stores across the country. I'd say that's a Goliath. We were 20% less expensive on every bed that we both offer. We may not have 2,500 stores, but we are number one in Cache Valley. Better product and better prices. Isn't it time to sleep exceptionally? Only at My Mattress.
Holiday parties and events at the Riverwoods Conference Center offer a festive and fun holiday atmosphere. Paired with catering from Elements Restaurant, your special occasion can include tasty hors d'oeuvres, delicious entrees, and decadent desserts that always deliver excellence. Now accepting reservations for this holiday season. The Riverwoods Conference Center and Elements Restaurant easily accommodate large or small events. Visit theriverwoods.com or call 750-5151.
Aggie Sports on KVNU is sponsored by the new Liberty Chrysler Dodge Jeep and Ram in Montpelier.
And our final segment will get you the final stats for Cache Valley Bank. Always there to tailor solutions to meet your needs. Your partner along the way is Cache Valley Bank. Get to the level of service that you deserve. Utah State shot 63%, shot 66, I think it was, in the first half. So, Great Osobor ended up with 18 minutes of time, 5 of 10, 4 of 6 free throws. He did have the 9 rebounds, 4 assists, 2 steals, and also had a block shot, 4 turnovers in his 14-point night, debuting for the Aggies in his first game, transferring here from Montana State. Isaac Johnson, in his first official game for the Aggies, 17 minutes of time. The Utah high school star who went to Oregon and transferred back here, 4 of 6 from the field, 1 of 1 from 3. He had 4 rebounds, 2 assists, a turnover, and a foul in 9 minutes. Mason Falsliff in 17 minutes had 17 points in 24 minutes, 7 of 9 shooting, 1 of 1 from 3, 2 of 3 free throws. He had 5 rebounds, 5 assists, 4 steals, 2 turnovers. And then Josh Aduje ended up with 19 points, 8 of 8 shooting, 3 of 3 from 3, 2 rebounds, an assist, 2 steals, 2 fouls. And Darius Brown, the second, in 21 minutes, had 4 of 8, 2 out of 3 from 3. He had the 10-point night with 7 assists and 3 steals. One time when he was at Northridge, he had a triple-double. And he had like 18, 16, and 10. I think it was 16 rebounds, I think, as I remember reading about it. Again, Khalifa Sacco had 4 points in his 17 minutes, had 5 rebounds, 2 out of 4 shooting, blocked 3 shots, and had a steal. Carson Temlin, this guy can play. He had 7 points, 5 rebounds, the freshman out of Texas in 15 minutes, 3 of 4 shooting. So he did some things there, plus he had a turnover and 2 fouls. And then Nigel Burris had 6 points, 9 rebounds in 22 minutes, 2 of 5 shooting, did miss 3 threes. And he also had an assist and a steal. And then we had Grant ended up with 10 minutes of playing time. He had 6 points. He had 1 rebound, and that's it. And then Javon Jackson in 24 minutes had 6 points. He had a rebound. He made 2 of 5 shots, 2 of 6 shots, 1 of 5 from 3, and 2 assists. And then Landon Brenchley finally gets in the Aggie scoring books with 4 points in his 8 minutes of time, 1 for 1 from the field, 2 of 3 free throws. He had 3 rebounds. He had 3 assists, 2 turnovers, and a turnover and a foul. Aggies had 47 rebounds to 21. had 26 assists and had the steals number, again, as talked about with Josh there in the postgame, of 13, 4 block shots, 11 turnovers, 15 turnovers they forced on the other side. The Alejandro Rama did end up with a scoring night of what he had 18 or 19, and he averaged about 19 last year, almost 20 a game. They had another guy who scored 20 for them last year, too. He was the only guy in double figures. They shot 28% on 16 out of 56 shots, 4 of 25 from 3. So the Aggies maybe got a hand in the face of those three-point shooters a lot tonight, was what we talked about with Jalen Moore before the game, the coach talked. So 51-25 first half, 50-23 second half, adds up to 101-48, the final score in the game tonight in the Smith Spectrum. So the opener's there, and now it's Bradley coming up on Saturday night. We'll have a doubleheader of game day on Saturday. We'll start at 11 with our pregame of football for the Aggies at home against Nevada, and then we'll be on postgame after football, letting you talk football. Then we'll get to a little short basketball pregame with Jalen Moore before we get to Scott Gerard with the broadcast back at Bradley. And then right after the game, John Russell will join with us, and we'll talk basketball, and maybe we'll talk some more football on that day as well. So we'll see you Saturday with that. Remember, high school's Green Canyon plays on Thursday down in Salt Lake City, and Ridgeline will play on Friday. Both games are at 6 o'clock in the semifinals. Westside's going to go on the road for theirs on Friday, and then Rich will play the championship of the 8-man football on Saturday at 10 in Salt Lake. And our soccer team will play Friday at BYU, as they got the bid to the NCAA today after winning the Mountain West, and our volleyball team won as well to get the regular season championship for sure. And then Utah State's women's team did lose to Northridge by 15 tonight on the road in their opener. So that gets you all update on everything. We'll join the following program in progress and have the rest of a good evening, and we'll see you first thing tomorrow morning with game day on Saturday, but tomorrow morning, the morning news here on KVNU.